What's up, guys? It's your boy Frank the Tank from the Podheads web show, here with my best buds, JB Perez, and Making C Money. We're here doing sessions, guys. So this is a little bit different from what we normally do. It's not the web show. We like to bring on guests of importance to talk about all things in the 420 movement in the community, and that includes CBD. So today we have our very special guest, President of Care Beyond, Tim Taylor.
Woo! Hey, what's up, Tim? Thank you for being with us on our inaugural show. And just like Frank the saying, let's get right into it, Tim. You're the president of Care Beyond, a CBD company that just started recently this year. If you go ahead, please take it away. Introduce yourself. Tell us what we need to know about Care Beyond.
Hey, thanks, guys. I appreciate you having me on your podcast. You guys are cool. You guys are looking like all cool and stuff. I'm sort of here all debonair.
Big wig over there.
My sport coat, you know. But yeah, basically, you know what, coming into CBD, my background is in launching companies. So over the last 30 years, we've done over 1,000 companies. Everything from America Online came out through us, and all types of other things, dealing with natural health primarily. But I didn't know much about CBD. I knew that I had about 9 different clients that were working in the CBD space. I knew it was starting to trend. But, you know, I had another client that was out in California that called us up to come out and take a look at what they had. And all I was figuring is, yeah, okay, guys, I'll come out and help you. Here it is, Tim Taylor, international pot dealer. I didn't know the difference. I thought it was just another way of people getting high. You know, for me, it was just another client. And then I flew out to meet these guys. And what I found out was the parent companies of them, carebeyond.com, were all hospice organizations, medical clinics, health centers. They've got a Medicare Advantage network. Hundreds of doctors were involved. And the powerful part about it was they had started, before CBD was trending, to use CBD in compounded products for their patients. Now, have you guys ever had a loved one or anybody in hospice care?
Yes,
you know, it's hard. It's really hard to watch them go through that because they're in their last days.
On the way out, right?
They're on the way out. In a lot of cases, there's a lot of pain, a lot of suffering, things hurt. And what they typically do is they opioid them up to the point to try to bring that pain down just so they're comfortable. The challenge is it brings them to the point where they're comfortable, but they don't know that their loved ones are
right. Yeah.
Right. They're in their best time, at their last time, with their treasure around them, their family, and they're so high they don't know what's going on. And so what this group had done is they started using CBD and compounds to help kind of bring it about while keeping them focused and clear and experiencing life. And then, you know, as I came out and found that, and I was talking with the founder and CEO, and I started learning and doing more study on CBD at that point when I saw the real benefit from it. I'm telling you guys, in 30 years, I've never seen anything like CBD and the benefit of what it can do for people. It's like life-changing. We've got people with seizures that are stopping. We've got people with Parkinson's disease that stops. We've got people with PTSD that are just chill. We've got people that can't sleep at all are able to sleep. I'm not saying these products can cure or fix anything. I'm saying what they do is, the research shows, is they're balancing your endocannabinoid system to the point where your body's capable of healing itself. It all comes down to a nutrient deficiency. You know, we don't take in the right foods. There's phytocannabinoids in vegetables and all types of things. I don't know about you guys, but I don't eat enough vegetables. So we get like phytocannabinoid deficiency, and all of our body systems are integrated and tied into this endocannabinoid system. So the key is you can eat a truckload of broccoli or a CBD tab. What would you rather do, right?
Exactly.
So I'll take the CBD tab just about every time.
Hey, you know what? We just had Jeremy Gomez, the owner of GCW Wrestling, on our last episode of the Podheads web show. And he spoke about his daughter who's on the autism spectrum. He mentioned how she went from nonverbal to just speaking like, I mean, I don't know what that means, perfectly fine for them, but just speaking from nonverbal to verbal within 15 minutes of using CBD.
Crazy.
So it's crazy because you hear these stories and it sounds like this miracle drug, but it kind of is. One thing that he mentioned, and maybe you could touch on this, was how when we used to grow as a nation hemp, we got because the animals, the livestock we raised, they fed on the hemp and got the natural CBD and things in there like that. So we had it in our diet. We used it more than we thought we did, and now we're kind of suffering or less healthy than we can be. Touch on that, Tim.
Well, yeah, going back, they've made a lot of changes. The hemp has been around since dirt was invented. It really has. I mean, they've been making rope, back all the ships where they were, the pirate shows, swinging across the thing. That's what they're swinging from the mast, right? Yeah. It's been available since this country was founded. And, then it began basically pulled back as, they started. Seems like, for whatever reason, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but it seems like whenever you find something that's really therapeutic, the drug companies tend to make it vanish really quickly, or outlaw it, or ban it, or other things. So I don't want to get too far down that road. But you mentioned autism, and I've seen some, some of our events. We do kind of a person-to-person sharing and talking, because you can talk about things person to person that you can't really do on the air and broadcast sometimes. And we've had people, they're like these revival meetings. You ever see these religious revival? And he's healed. That's what it's like. We've got guys throwing down their canes. We've got, it's crazy. But there's a lady that is really close to us that we just love, and her name is Michelle. She's about 40. She's a deaf mute and an autistic savant. In October, when I first met her, she was sort of like, she wouldn't look at you. She was very withdrawn. And she's been using some of our tranquility products and a Theramel along with our patch. And over the last, I don't know, since October, what is it, February now, 6 months, 5 months, 5.5 months, she has completely transformed. She looks you right in the eye. She's drawing, she's talking, she's signing. Wow. It's close to normal. I mean, I know autism, and I'm telling you, I have never seen a transition. I'm not saying it cures anything. In this lady's case, she dropped 75 pounds by balancing her endocannabinoid system in 5 months. And just got.
That sounds so fake, Tim. Right?
It's like a miracle, guys. Really I mean, it sounds too good to be true. If I didn't see it, if I didn't know her, if I didn't shake her hand, if I didn't have her paintings that she's painting for us in my house,
you wouldn't believe it.
I wouldn't believe it.
I hear you. Holy crap, Tim. That's crazy. We talk about that all the time. It really feels like it is a miracle drug. It doesn't cure all, but we have a cannabinoid system that regulates all the other systems in our body. I mean, it's there for us. And there's another example of Michelle. And that's what we like to talk about, man. All these examples, all these stories that people need to hear. You said it, talking person to person, Tim, is the way to get this movement, this CBD out there, because pharmaceutical companies control media, money, all that kind of bullshit. But anyways, just to keep the interview going, Tim, talk to us about what your product, why it's better than the other ones. You mentioned to me that other CBD companies just throw things together. Explain to you why Care Beyond is so different and why you guys are seeing so success so early, really.
Right. Well, what's kind of interesting is when Care Beyond got started in the release and focus and testing on CBD for its patients, not its patients, but the parent company's patients, before the CBD trend really started getting up. So there's really 3 big differences between us and most of the CBD things that are out there. And CBD is starting to become a commodity. You're seeing it all over the place. You can search on Amazon. It's all over the internet. The challenge is you don't really know what you're getting. In fact, and touching on that, Dr. Oz just did a big expose just yesterday, just came out. And basically what he was saying was it's like the wild, wild west out with CBD right now. They did a test where they went out to New York and Colorado and all these different places across the country to buy CBD, full spectrum oil, whole plant oil, the different things that were out there. And the test, they went back and lab evaluated it. And what they found is not some, but most had not a little bit of CBD in it, but none. Zero. No CBD in it whatsoever. And this is a major national expose. Yeah. So the fundamental differences with what Care Beyond has are 3 is 1, All of our products are developed within the healthcare industry and manufactured in a pharmaceutical grade facility. When you're getting something from Care Beyond, it is what it says it is. Second, it's third-party lab verified. So if we're saying we've got 25 milligrams of CBD in our Tranquility product, you're getting 25 or more in every tablet. It's isolate, lab evaluated, pure processed CBD. It is exactly what it says it is. But the biggest difference is with Care Beyond products is they're compounded. So, you know, as you mentioned, for PTSD and guys, vets and things, people that are struggling with different issues and health issues, not everything is all the same. Your endocannabinoid system works stable. It's across the same. It's the foundation of health. It really is. But what we've done is we've taken products and compounded them to target the most common issues that our patients were having. For example, stress, anxiety, and sleeplessness. If people are following PTSD in that particular thing, we developed a product that's called Tranquility. And what Tranquility is doing is taking CBD and compounding it with other natural supplements that are intended to target that particular area. So the idea is if you took the CBD away, it's still going to chill you out. It's still going to help you to sleep. It's still going to help you to relax. You add the CBD into it, and it's like magic.
Yep.
It's almost like it helps carry that
Vitality. This goes across the board, exactly counter with it. Vitality was developed by a urologist, and it gives you energy and focus and stamina. It has a more nominal amount of CBD in it, but it works for guys erectile dysfunction, but it's not like the little blue pills where you're walking around with a woody or something like that. You're just energized, you're focused, you've got stamina, and it works for men and for women. It's a natural vasodilator. Then we've got a product that is called Theramelt. And Theramelt basically is using CBD, and it's compounded with other natural anti-inflammatories and pain suppressants to target pain and discomfort, and specifically inflammation. So CBD is basically one of the best natural anti-inflammatories on the planet. It's not because CBD heals or cures anything, but it balances your endocannabinoid system, and inflammation just diminishes. Most disease stems from that. You know, so we could go on and with different things, and I want to touch on a couple of other products that are fantastic, but the main differences are three. Healthcare developed and directed and pharmaceutically quality manufactured. Two is they're third-party labs verified and certified. And three is they're compounded to address your issue, not just something across the board. Most everything in the market today is oils and balms, messy, sticky. You don't know what the quality is, and that's where we're at.
Yeah, that reminds me a lot, Tim, of the industry where people can what's the word I'm trying to think of? The supplement industry, right? I've read documentaries before where people in their own kitchen would mix all these powders, put a label on it, not FDA approved or researched, and they sell it to GMC or any other vitamin type of shop. And just to your point, it's not regulated. There's probably no medicine in it. That's great, Tim. I'm really happy about that because now you know that with your product, you're getting real doctors, a real pharmaceutical building, you know, safety comes to mind, real medicine.
Let me talk about a real everyday life here, because we did talk about people on the spectrum and with autism. We talked about veterans, but for people like C Money, who tells me on a daily basis, you know, he struggles with sleeping, anxiety in some cases, you know what I mean? And in a situation where you can't always smoke, I mean, you drive, you work, you work around people, so you can't always just go stop and smoke a joint, you know, when you need to chill out. So it sounds to me, Tim, like you've got products for just about every, you know, any kind of situation for daily life. So do you use products, C Money? Can you talk about how maybe this relates to your, maybe do people use it for sleep? Can you use something like that on a daily basis? Long-term use is okay. You can integrate this into your daily life, I guess is what I'm asking.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And, you know, one of the big issues that you mentioned is, you know, whether you're going to go out and smoke a joint or something else is drug testing. You know, a lot of guys and people have a job where you've got to get, and, you know, marijuana legislation is changing. You've got, medicinal use is over 30 states now, and recreational use is moving. The train's left the station. It's going to end up changing nationwide and worldwide over a period of time. But right now it's not. And, and there's also a lot to be said of, on the THC side of it. And those of you that don't know, is CBD and THC are two different compounds. CBD gives you all the medical benefits of medical marijuana without the high. That's got its upsides and its downsides, no pun intended, maybe a little pun.
Hey!
but the idea with it is our products have 0 THC in it. So you can take them. In fact, our nurses and doctors all take them on a daily basis. I take them on a daily basis, and you will test 0 on a drug test. You're not going to trigger or anything like that.
I've researched, or from what I've found from my own research, is that there's a sweet spot for people. And like JB said, everybody's different. Now, someone like myself or Frank the Tank or JB, who has been using cannabis virtually our whole lives, I would think it's safe to say that, let's say, like I have a bottle of 10 milligram CBD downstairs. Now, one of my parents, I've been trying to convince them to get on CBD because they're in their 60s now, and I can see the medication starting to take their toll. And I kind of want my parents to be here for as long as possible. And I'd be very upset to find out that a medication they've been on is what caused them to die. So what's interesting, though, is I did not know that one of my parents was on Lexapro. Now, I told them to take CBD for anxiety. Now, of course, their anxiety went up because now they're taking 2 things, and I've been told that that could actually be a counter effect. Now, my question is, as far as finding that sweet spot, that jar downstairs is 10 milligrams. For me, I know damn well that I probably need a lot more than 10 milligrams just because I've been using cannabis, not necessarily CBD specifically, but with all the, dare I say it, weed that I've smoked throughout my life, there's CBD in that. So how do you find that sweet spot? I mean, I see bottles that are 10, 100, 500, 750, 1,000. I mean, is it just trial and error? Do I start low and go high? Can you touch on how people can find that? Because obviously people are a little scared. My parents have used the term afraid because it's been stigmatized, let's be honest, since the 50s, cannabis. And they are legit afraid. They're afraid. It's very scary to tell someone, okay, stop taking the med or wean yourself off your med you've been dependent on, and now you need to experiment and find a sweet spot. I mean, that's scary. So can you kind of shed light on that?
Yeah, sure. It's the interesting part about CBD is there's never been a CBD overdose. Right. It's not something that you're going to take too much and get too high. You're not going to get a buzz. You're not going to, might get really chill and relax or everything else. But one of the things is the part of the brain that CBD affects is unlike opioids. It doesn't bind to your medulla where it actually controls your respiratory. So you're not going to, it's impossible. Well, who knows what's impossible or impossible? No one has ever overdosed or been a death from CBD usage. Now, having said that, if you're dealing with multiple drugs or prescriptions, chat with your doctor. It's kind of silly not to, as to what's going on. But with CBD, what we found is most of the studies that we've seen is when your endocannabinoid system gets depleted, and it's through a deficiency. The older you are, the more deficient you typically are in your dietary intake. You can fill it up. It's like you get a flat tire in a car. You can pump that up until once it's up and equal, your car's running smooth. But it takes a while to get the air in it, right? And it's the same thing with CBD. So in the beginning, most people converse to what you would do with an opioid treatment. Just take more, go and go with a heavier amount. Some cases where we've got patients. For example, I had a doctor, a chiro, had a really severe car accident, and he's been 6 years in pain. Now, what's interesting about this doc is he owned 3 pain clinics. That means he had access to every pain medication on the planet. Wow. And he couldn't get rid of his pain. So we gave him a Theramelt, at a dinner and said, well, I don't feel too much different. It still hurts. We gave him 2. 20 minutes later, he's going, this is the first time I've been pain-free in, 6 years. Mm-hmm. This is a man with pain clinics, right? Wow. And so the key to it is with, opioids, for example, what do they say? When you start taking them over a period of time, your body becomes a little bit almost immune to them. So a lot of people start increasing. Where opioid deaths come from people, they don't feel the pain relief or the relief anymore, so they take more, and eventually it shuts down their respiratory system, right? Mm-hmm. And so with this, it's the opposite. You can start with a larger amount of CBD and begin to wean off of it as your body gets back into balance. And That's what we've found, and it's going to be different with most people. But we have a recommended usage, but you find what works for you. And you're not going to hurt yourself. It's take the experimental basis and use what's you don't very little risk with it. But again, if you are using prescription drugs, chat with your doc about it.
Absolutely.
I'm so excited.
I tell them that too. Yeah. Don't ever obviously just say, all right, let's try this and stop what you've been taking for decades. I mean, come on. But and that's interesting. To touch on the whole opioid thing too, it's a vicious circle, and I feel very bad for these people. That's like they prey on the weak, if I dare use that term. I've had family members overdose and die from heroin and opioids, friends too from high school. And it is, they get hurt, doctor gives them prescription. And what I learned is that the doctors are also giving them a crazy amount of pills. Like, it's not necessary. They'll give them 30 days worth for something where it's like, give them 2 days. So, they get hooked, they get better. Doctor says no more. They say, I'm not, I'm hooked, and they do heroin. So I'm very excited that this is coming out.
Let's talk about Care Beyond.
Yeah.
So you said you work with doctors, all all fields of medicine. What are you guys doing within the community? What has Care Beyond been up to within the last year? So how are you guys reaching out to these different communities? How speak a little bit about Care Beyond.
The company has been in development for a couple of years. We started our beta phase of marketing, and the concept is like, hey, why wait till you're in a hospice to feel good, right? That's what the concept is. It's why wait till you're there and start feeling good now? And our whole concept is feeling good. That's what it's all about. And so with in June of last year, we started our pre-launch. And what we're doing is this with a little bit more of a direct sales method. As I mentioned in the beginning, we've got people telling people, so someone can become a care associate with us. You don't have to buy a bunch of product. You get in, you get what you want, you tell other people, and you make money. That's really all it comes down to. And so we've been working that track, but over the course of time, we've also been working with a lot of medical associations. We're working on some case studies right there in Orlando with some hospice organizations and primarily in the care of autism. They're starting to find a lot that's there. We just finished shooting a documentary on people that were struggling with seizures, where their seizures literally. I'm going to give you how much time do we got? Go
ahead. Yeah, sure.
A second or not much time. But we had a patient. I shouldn't say a patient. It wasn't our patient. It was a young lady. She's 24 years old. She's been going through seizures with all the best medications that she could do. 11 seizures per day. We're talking fall down, flop like a fish, can't work, seizures. She had care around her since she was 12 years old. That means she's never been to prom. She's never been to high school. She's never had a job. She's never had a relationship. This girl is beautiful. And with all that medication, a friend of hers gave a sample of our Theramelt product, just in these little sample packs, and a Tranquility. Her seizures stopped. One day she had one seizure. They stopped. They did a whole documentary on her. It's mind-blowing.
It's mind-blowing, yeah.
And the doctors are going, what? So they're calling us in. They want to start, they've heard about it, but they didn't see it firsthand until, you start seeing these people and these lives-changing stories. So we've been doing a lot of that over the last, for a while now. We've been doing a lot. We just shot a new documentary now on Michelle that I told you that's also up in Florida here. Yep. I'm based in Florida. Our company is based in California. And, one of the cool things is like you were saying, Frank, you don't have to trust that these work. You can try them. And matter of fact, everybody on your webcast, let's offer them a free sample that they can try at the end of this webcast. So you can actually go and request a free sample at carebeyond.com/podheads.
Yeah, the Podheads, I think.
Click on the get a free sample, and you want more information, you can contact them, and we'll answer anything that you want. We're looking for people to help promote this because there's a lot of people that can be helped as well.
Sure.
And that face-to-face talking, it really is the best marketing. I mean,
it is.
Mouth to mouth. Look, this is my experience. Look, this is Michelle's experience. Look, this is this person's experience. I mean, those are the stories that we as the Podheads are trying to share to educate. But those are the stories that make the difference. You know, commercials and a guy in a lab suit, you know, everybody does it. That's not trustworthy. And that's what I like about Care Beyond, Tim, is that, you know, ever since we've met you, all it is these stories. It's just, look at the product, look at the data, look at the numbers. Here it is. Right. Do your own research, try it. And we'll have the link / the Podheads. Go get your free samples, but try it for yourself. Do your own education. I think we've always pushed that on CBD, THC. Do your own research. Try it out for yourself, and then come back with your opinion. It's like magic. So I have one more question, kind of getting towards the end, but I want to talk about your company. I was very curious about kind of the stresses or fight back that you personally, maybe your company, has from other pharmaceuticals or the government or the law or whatnot. I'm just curious about, you know, if it seems your company is successful, it works. Are you still hitting roadblocks as far as your company is concerned?
Well, that's a great question, and not like we were in the beginning. I think, as I mentioned, the train has left the station with CBD and cannabis in general. It's starting to, it's moving in a big way. The Farm Bill just passed here in the United States, where it opened up hemp, which is basically cannabis, the same thing, but with a THC level of 0.03 or less. But it's available in all 50 states now. So that's actually finally changed. Whereas before it was coming down to you need to get merchant accounts, you had to do all kinds of weird stuff to make that happen. So things are changing and improving. The receptiveness in the marketplace is much greater. Drug companies are you know, still seem to be battling to saying that CBD is all their idea, and you know, and so forth. So at the end of the day, who knows where it's going to be over the next few years? Is all I know is what's out right now, and there's a lot of help that we can help with people, and in fact, you know, people that really want to get involved with this and promote this, there's a fortune to be made for the right people and the right opportunity.
It's $1 billion industry, right? I mean,
that's right.
You said it. You use the analogy of the train. I use that same analogy every episode. The train is on. Get on or be left behind. And now we're talking about money. There's money on that train to be made, and not in a. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, with Care Beyond, you can become a care associate. Like I said, you don't need to go. We're not trying to sell a truckload of stuff to anybody. You get what you want, and you share it with others, and you get paid. They share it with other people. You get paid on them too. It's residual income potential, but this is a thing where we've got a pharmaceutical, high-quality company, top-quality products, 100% money-back guaranteed. You can buy these products and you don't like them, send them back. Send back the empty bottle. I mean, there's no risk.
That's cool. No, that's what we want. We want real stories. We want people to try it. And we've been talking about to Tim all day. Again, carebeyond.com. We're going to have free samples. We'll have this link up for you.
You got an event going on in March, right?
I was just going to ask you that,
March
Tim. Super Saturday?
This month?
Yeah, in Orlando. As a matter of fact, yes, in Orlando at the
Avanti, I believe.
The Avanti International Resort right there on iDrive. We've got an event that's going to be at 9:30 a.m. on Saturday the 16th, and we'll have some doctors coming up and talking about the product. I'll be there. I don't know. I'm assuming you guys will be there as well. And we're going to get into the details, get everybody's questions answered on how this can work. And then those that really want to stay in the afternoon, we've got some training that we'll get into detail on how to really leverage this both economically and from a health perspective.
We're going to have all the details up. If you want a free sample, check this out. Yep. carebeyond.com /the Podheads or Podheads. And check it out. Let us know how you feel about the products. If you've got any questions, we're going to be out there again. If you can't make it, send us your questions. We'll ask them. But if you can make it, and you should get out there, bring your questions, whether you're trying to learn another secondary source of income or maybe a different career path, whether you're trying to get help medically as far as learning about CBD and how it relates to your issues. This is where you want to go. I mean, this is fairly new and everybody has questions. So get out there and come find out. Come say what's up to us as well. Other than that, before we get out of here, Tim, I just wanted to say it was a pleasure to have you on here.
Yeah, you guys rock, man. Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. Does anybody have anything else?
I mean, Tim did a great job. I'm
Yeah,
hoping that our listeners get a benefit out of this conversation. Again, it's all about education, changing the stigma, and it's medicine. Do your own research. Definitely.
And I know everybody loves free stuff. Don't BS me. Everyone loves free stuff. What do you guys have to lose?
Nothing.
Get a free sample. Yeah. I'm sure as hell gonna get one because I like a better quality of life, and that's the goal. There's a lot of crazy shit going on in the world right now, man. People are going off the hinges. Better quality of life, to be relaxed, to not be so quick to jump. You know, just chill, people. Yeah, thank you so much, Tim. Very enlightening. A lot of information. Saturday, the 16th of March is going to be great.
All right. Hey, love your show, guys. You guys are awesome. I can't wait to keep watching, and I'm going to send some more people over to you. You guys got some great info to help a lot of people. Thanks.
Thank
you.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Appreciate you, Tim. All right, guys, that's the sessions with the Podheads. Appreciate you watching. Like, comment. Don't forget to subscribe to the Podheads YouTube channel, and let us know what you think. Again, I know there's a lot of skeptics out there. I know there's a lot of people who have questions, especially young people. So holler at us. We'll try to get anything we can answer for you. And again, you heard the website. So that's about that, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Tim. We'll holler at you next time, y'all. Peace.
All right. Thanks, man.
Bye.
Yeah.